Hello and welcome back to the 2019 Formula 4 Southeast Asia Championship fueled by Petron. As always, my name is Aaron Thompson. We're coming to you live now for race 18 of the season, but before then, let's have a quick walk down the pit lane and see who we can talk to.
Hi, welcome back guys. We're at the Madras Motorsport Club in Chennai, India. We're about to start race 18. So after the race, why don't we all go from Madras Curry, okay?
Thank you very much, Peter. Now let's head up to race control to watch the start of the race. Everybody seems to have taken their position now, though. You can see the green flag marshal waving the flag at the back of the grid. Okay, there we go. Everybody's clear. Engines on. Here we are. Red lights on. And in just a moment we'll be underway as they go out. There we go. We're on the way. And fantastic start from Alice Young, who's going to go around the outside of Muiz Mustafa and Sneha Sharma coming up into turn one. Now he's going to dive up the inside. Can he take Mira Erder as well as that? 4 positions in one corner. Fantastic driving there from the Malaysian as Muiz Mustafa goes around the outside of Sneha Sharma. And it looks to me he's going to be up into second position coming into turn 2 if he can make it stick. No, not quite. He's pushed up on the inside by Sneha, and it looked like another car. Another blue car perhaps was trying to go up around the outside of all 3 of them at corner 2. What's going to happen here? Sneha Sharma still defending her position from the man behind her. That's Shihab Al-Habsi. With Shihab Al-Habsi, ladies and gentlemen, who went around the outside of everyone at turn 2. Fantastic driving for him. He's all up behind Sneha Sharma as Yash Adia all up behind his his compatriot in orange racing car, Muiz Mustafa as well. Going around the outside at turn 4. He's got the better line now through turn 5, but he's boxed in by Sneha Sharma. He's got nowhere to go, while Luca Allen in the blue number 3 just behind those 2 orange cars tries to make a move as well. And Muiz Mustafa going a little bit wide there, going to get stuck in the dirt. Beautiful driving there from Luca Allen, who goes up the inside at turn 6. You're going to close the door coming out of turn 7, while Shihab Al-Habsi leads this race, ladies and gentlemen, from Mira Erder and Sneha Sharma, who's managing to keep several drivers behind herself as well, as Mohammed Abraham seems to have a good start and is going strong coming out of 7B and down into turn 8, where we have 3 cars wide now, orange, blue, and purple. That's Sneha Sharma losing out to what looks to be must be Luca Allen, and the orange car, I believe that would be Yash Adia. Just behind them, Muiz Mustafa seems to be having a little bit of trouble keeping Sneha Sharma and Elias Sapanin behind him. Elias not having the best start today. He's stuck behind all of this traffic, and Sneha going to do everything she can to keep him behind herself as well. As we come up over the bridge and down into turn 12 with Mira Erder still leading in second position as Alistair Young crosses the start straight. As we said at the beginning of the lap, at the beginning of the race, even Alistair Young up into first position from 4th on the grid in the first corner. Fantastic driving for him as Yash Adia now, again, it's a little bit of a repeat of the last session where Luke Allen seems to be stuck behind Yash Adia. Might have collided with somebody because I think I saw some damage to his front his front wing on the left-hand side as we come through turn 3 now with Alistair Young bleeding us up through the kink as well, and Shihab Al-Habsi just behind him. Let's have a look at the lap times. Let me just refresh our timing board. Here we go. Let's have a quick look. Yes, definitely we can see on screen now Luke Allen has some damage to his front wing on the left-hand side. Hasn't lost the end plate though. That's hanging on. That might actually be worse news for him because it's at a very bad angle for him now. Unfortunate news from Ireland, but he does seem to be continuing strong. I'm sure Luke is going to do exactly that, but he's going to be at a disadvantage to all the other drivers. Let's have a look at the starting lap times just for fun. Let's have a look at it. 1:43.961 from Alistair Young and a 1:45.730 from Shihab Al-Habsi. So Shihab already a little bit further back. Nothing he can do about that. There was traffic in his way, but as we come around for the next lap, we'll have a real indication of the pace of all the drivers in this race, and we'll have to see what's going to happen because in the first sector, Shihab Al-Habsi sets the fastest first sector of the race so far with a 2.690. That's 2 tenths faster than anyone else on track. Fantastic driving from him. That's a little bit of a reverse from the last session now. Alistair Young is going to have to defend from Shihab Al-Habsi, and Yash Adia just behind him, and Luke Allen behind them as well, while Elias Sapanin is still stuck a little bit further down the grid. Last we saw him, he was stuck behind the number 9 car, but he's gotten past them now, and he's up into what would be 6th position behind Muiz Mustafa. He's not going to have an easy time getting past the Malaysian there, but he may be able to do it, and if he can start tracking down the men in front of him. But Luke Allen and Yash Adia are not going to make it easy for him to get up onto the podium. And if everything stays as it is, Yash Adia will be the only one of 3 up on the podium, and Luke Allen is going to suffer from that right wing. That wing. You can see that Muiz Mustafa already closing in on the man in front of him. Luke Allen probably due because of that damage as we come through turn 3 now with Alistair Young and up into the kink before the end of the first sector down into turn 4. Here we go. Very, very, very nice line there through that corner with Alistair. This I would imagine this is flattened these cars as we come through now with Shihab Al-Habsi trying to close in on the man in front of him. Let's have a look at the lap times as they cross the start-finish straight. Let me just refresh the screens and see what's going on. Yeah, we got a 1:40.123 from Alistair Young. So Alistair, fastest man on track at the moment, found his time in the second sector. Doing 41.794 seconds, just about 4/10 faster actually than Shihab Al-Habsi. Shihab lapping in the 1:41 still, so a little bit slower that time around. Yash, Luca, Elias, and Muiz all in the 140s though. So Shihab has got to find something. He may have gone off a little bit. That's entirely possible. Coming around one of these corners, so he may have gone off just a little bit. You can see the gap between him and Alistair is quite substantial, and the gap back to Yash is significant as well. All these drivers are going to have to really pull. Oh, look, we've missed an overtake. Muiz Mushafir up into 4th position, finding his way past Luca Allen. As we said, Luca's struggling because of the damage to his wing. Elias Sapan is going to be all over the back of him now. That's very good news for Muiz because he's not going to have to worry about defending from the Irishman who has been the bane of his existence this weekend so far. As we come past the start-finish straight once again with Alistair Young, I'll refresh this timing grid right now, and we'll get to see exactly what time he's doing in just a moment. Before then, let's have a quick look back at the action. Shihab Al-Habsi coming through in 2nd position, Yash Adia in the orange number 17 in 3rd, Muiz Mushafir in the orange number 13 in 4th. Behind them, Luke Allen and Elias Sapanen tussling for the championship fight, as Muiz Mushafir is going to have to try and start catching up to the man in front of him, who would be Yash Adia, if he wants to get up onto the podium this weekend for the first time, and we hope he does, because it'd be fantastic to see him have some success here after not the best weekend here last year. Coming through the kink now, Yash Adia in the orange number 17, trying to track down the man in front of him as well. Of course, we know he finished strong, finishing in 2nd position last time around. He was hoping to get up onto the top spot this race, but it may not be possible because the men in front of him are blisteringly quick. Alex Young doing a 1:39.661 last time around, and Shihab Al-Habsi answering with a 1:40.231. So Alistair really finding a lot of time in this session. 6/10 faster than the man behind him, and really the fastest man on track. The only person into the 1:39s, and doing so by 4/10. Fantastic driving from him as we come around what looks to be turn 8 now with that would be Yash Adia on. Oh, that would be Muiz Mushafir, and looks like there's going to be a move with Elias Sapanen going around the outside of turn 8 on Luke Allen. No, Luke Allen doesn't let that happen at all. He says, "No, thank you. No, thank you very much, my friend," and he leads us through turn 9 once again, as looks like Muiz is breaking away from them and trying to catch up to the man in front of him, the orange number 17 of Yash Adia. Yash doing a 1:40.062, Muiz doing a 1:40.789, so it's not fast enough to make anything happen just yet. But the Malaysian, as we know, just comes to life in the second half of all these races, and he's going to give Yash a what for coming through on the perhaps on lap 4 or 5, as we come now with Luke Allen still defending from Elias Sapanen as they cross the start finish line. Fantastic driving here from Luke to keep the Finn behind him, especially considering how quick he's been this weekend. So we've come through turn 3 now with Alistair Young in the pink number 22 car up into the kink once again, as it looks like the spin. Mira Erda there seems to have spun at turn 12. Yeah, indeed, she's stuck in the middle of the start-finish straight. She doesn't seem to be able to start going again. She may have lost. She may not have held in the power. No, she has. She's got the car going. She's going to turn it around. She's going to keep going. Martha's looking to see if she needs an assistant. Needing assistance. She's off the track now. She's not going to have enough space though to turn around. She's got it going. There we go. Fantastic. She's rejoining the race. Nothing to worry about. We can keep racing without any incident. As Alistair Young leads us through what seems to be turn 7B. That's the little king car on the exit of turn 7, just ahead of Shihab Al-Habsi in the red number 34 car. You can see the beautiful pink there leading us through turn 8. This angle really shows you the gap between the two drivers. It's quite substantial now. Unfortunately, Mira now out of her car on the start-finish straight, so we're probably going to have to red flag the session and until that car can be recovered, because it is in a dangerous position and it cannot be allowed to stay there. I can see the yellow flags already being waved, double yellow flags. There we go, safety car is out. Safety car is out, so that means everything's going to stop, all the racing is going to stop, everyone has to stay in position as Alistair Young comes around turn 12 now and is safely passed with no incident. And the safety car will remain on track. Fortunately, Mira managed to get the car close to a recovery point, so I'm sure it won't take very long to push the car back off the track, and in a lap or so we'll be able to continue racing. But until then, we're on the safety car to make sure that everything's okay. Coming back through turn 1 now, we've got Luke Allen, the blue number 3 car. This is good news for him because Elias Sapanen runs all over the back of his car on the last lap, and he had his work cut out for him, especially with that damaged front wing. But now he's got a little bit of a breather, a little bit of time to take stock of the situation, make a plan for the rest of the race. Let's have a look if they're going to pause the the timer does look like we've paused at 9 minutes and 1 second when the safety car came out, so presumably then we will return to racing with 9 minutes on the clock when the safety car comes back in. That's good news. That's actually not good news for Luke Allen, because it means he's going to have to fight to keep Elias Sapanen behind him, but he may be able to come up with a strategy during the safety car period. I can see Mira Era's car has already been recovered, so I assume that means that the safety car will come in this lap, and we'll be back to racing. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, when the safety car lights go off, then Alistair Young in the in the pink number 22, the leader of the race, effectively becomes the safety car himself. He controls the pace until they cross the start-finish straight, and then we resume racing as normal. Coming around turn 8 now, you can see Alistair Young. He's not going to be happy about this, because he had a substantial lead to the Omani driver behind him, and Yasser Ardia had a bit of a gap between himself and the Shihab as well, and there was a gap. We were a little bit spread out is what I'm trying to say, although not quite managing to find the words to say it, unfortunately. But now everything has been bunched back up by this safety car, so it's terrible news for Alistair Young, because everybody's going to be right up behind him trying to find a way past him, and these drivers are not going to give him any space at all. They're going to find anything they can do to find a way to get past him. That's what this is all about. You can see the green flag being waved now. Everybody's back up to racing speed, and as you cross the start-finish straight, we're underway once again with the pink number 22 of Alistair Young leading us through turn 1. Shihab Al-Habsi just behind him. Yash Adia in third position. Muiz Mushafir fourth. Luke Allen, Elias Sapanen. Coming around into turn 2 now. Can anybody make anything happen? Nobody's quite close enough to do so. Perhaps wisely deciding not to make a maneuver unless they're 100% certain they can keep it on track and keep the cars going safely. As we come up through the kink now, everyone returning to safety. You can see the damage already that's been done to Luke. His wing is quite substantial. He's having to defend as well from Elias Sapanen. So the first 4 cars on the grid, Alistair Young, Shihab Al-Habsi, Yash Adia, and Muiz Mushafir, of course, already starting to pull away from the men in 4th and 5th position, as Alistair Young leads us through turn 5 and up into turn 6 and 7, which is this large, wide U-turn type corner. Coming into the exit of the corner is 7B. That's the little kink in the corner there. So you can see everybody going a little bit wide. Yash perhaps sticking his tail out a little bit. Some of the drivers cut that corner a little bit tighter than others. Alessandro Giretti last year was a little bit famous for going extremely wide, right off, almost off of the track at some point. You can see 2 orange cars there. That would be Muiz Mushafir and Yash Ardia trying to make a maneuver at turn 8. Can they make it stick? Be fantastic news for Malaysia if Muiz manages to do so. Hard to make out the difference between the two, but Muiz is in the number 13. That's the car just behind the orange number 17. You could see him trying to go around the outside, around the inside, every which way in the previous few corners. A little bit too far back to make anything happen at turn 10. And turn 11 and 12 is almost impossible to overtake, I would imagine. But coming up into turn 1, Muiz might be able to make an attempt and possibly find his way past the Indian in 3rd position as we come down the start-finish straight once again with 6 minutes left on the leaderboard. Let's see what Muiz can do. He's tucked in nicely. He's got the slipstream coming through turn 1. He's handling it very well through the sector, and Yash sticks his tail out just an inch coming onto the exit. So might be indicative of Muiz putting the pressure on the Indian just ahead of him as we come wide again with Alistair Young coming out of the turn 2 onto the rumble strip there, although all the drivers seem to be following a similar line, so maybe that was intentional. As Shihab Al-Habsi trying to catch up to the man in front of him, obviously didn't have that great of a restart because Alistair Young is still in position as Shihab locks up coming into the 4th corner and takes the line nicely through turn 5 and is just going to continue racing and wait for his opportunity to pounce on Alistair Young and the pink number 22 just ahead of him. Alistair doing a 1:39.455 last time around, and Shihab Al-Habsi doing 1:39.485. That's 0.3 of a second separating the two. Fantastic driving for both, but Alistair Young still the fastest man on track as Muiz Mushafir goes very wide indeed coming out of turn 7. He had a little bit of an incident last year there, did a similar thing, but that pulled him right off the track, and I believe it beached him in the dirt out there. As we come around turn 9 now with Alistair Young still at the front of the grid, Shihab Al-Habsi trying to make something happen, but interestingly it is Elias Sapanen or Luca Allen even setting the fastest first sector time. Especially interesting to see he's doing that with his front wing just hanging off as it is as we come around turn 10 now up into the right-handed turn 11 that goes up over the bridge. Down the bridge already is Alistair Young in the purple, or the pink I should say, number 22, leading us once again this lap. Down the main straight with Shihab Al-Habsi just behind him. Let's have a quick refresh of timing screens to check what time we're doing. Seems like they haven't been updated just yet, but Shihab Halapsi isn't phased by that. He's going to keep the man in front of him in his sights. He's going to find a way to get past him, just wait for an opportunity, wait for a mistake, and make this happen as the pink number 22 car leads us around turn 3. Once again, up into the kink. This is a fantastic section of corners. Makes up the first sector of the track, which is cut just before the fourth corner, which we're coming into now. And Yash Adya and Moise Mouchaf are still battling for third position. Moise really wants this. You can tell it. You can tell from his face after the last race he really wants to be up onto the podium, and he's going to have to fight with Yash to make that happen. But with only 4 minutes left on the board, I'm not sure if he can actualize that dream. As we come around turn 5 and up into turn 6 now, there we go. We've seen overtaking here already, actually this race, and we saw plenty of overtaking in that corner last season. As we come around the exit now, you can see Elias is just so close up behind Luke Allen, but Luke just holding on, keeping the fin behind him, and hoping he can do that for another 2 or 3 minutes until the end of the race. 2 minutes and 58 seconds to be exact, as we come around with, oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, Alistair Young and Shihab Al-Habsi both set an identical time, 1:39.137. I'm not even sure how that's possible. That's how close the racing is between these youngsters. As we come through turn 11 now, with Yash Adya managing to hold off Malaysia's Moise Mouchaf for yet another lap down the bridge into turn 12. I've always wanted to see an overtake here, and usually when I say that, these young drivers make it happen for me, but they haven't done so just yet. As we come through to start-finish range, once again, Alistair Young in the first position. Behind him, Shihab Al-Habsi. Then the battle for third is number 17 and number 13. That's Yash Adya and Moise Mouchaf in the orange cars. Moise all over the back of the local Indian hero, Yash Adya, but not managing to find a way past. Unfortunately, several drivers struggling with the same kind of thing this weekend, or at least so far, but there's 2 more races to go today. And of course, we're back next week with another 4 races and free practice and qualifying for you. So don't go away just yet, because there's plenty of action still to come. Let's have a look a little bit further down the grid, though. Yash Adya still in the 140s, doing a 140.013. That's about 9/10 off the man in front of him. May have decided to, he's focusing on defending from Moise Mouchaf, who's doing a 140.231, a little bit slower than the Indian, but enough to be right up behind him. So I'm not sure what to advise him, because I'm not half as experienced as these young drivers on the track, and I'm glad for it. It's much better to be up here watching this action with all of you, because it's fantastic to see all these young drivers striving to reach their potential. As we come around turn 8 now, once again with the Yash Adya in the orange, number 17 managing to hold off still from Moise Mouchaf, as Alistair Young goes a little bit wide, really using all the space available to him, coming on the exit of turn 9 down into turn 9B now with the orange number 17 of Yash Adya. Leading Moise Mouchaf through the final sector of the race once again. Let's see what we've got. About 2 minutes left on the board, so this is probably going to be the last lap. Let's see if we can see the sign being given to the drivers. No, I didn't see a last lap board, which means we're going to have 2 more laps as we come through turn 1 now. Yash Adya still leading Moise Mouchaf, I should say, but you can see the gap is really diminishing as Elias Apan has obviously found his way past Luke Allen. Luke held on as long as he possibly could, but it just wasn't enough, as Alistair Young leads us through turn 3 once again up into the kink, taking it a little bit tighter than he did last time around, as Shihab Al-Habsi, of course, trying to find his way past the man at the front of the grid, as he has been trying to do from the very first lap. He set a 1:32.291 last time, 1:39.291 last time around, which is 1/100th of a second faster than the man in front of him, but the gap is 1 second from the leader to second position, so that's just not enough. It's too little too late from the Omani to get into the top spot, which is fantastic news for Malaysia. But there may be more good news on the way, as Moise Mouchaf trying to find his way up into third position. He's within striking distance of the Indian in the orange number 17 car. That's Yash Adya, who had a fantastic first race here this weekend, finishing second. Now he's in third, but Moise Mouchaf may have something to say about that as we come through the final sector of the race now, with Alistair Young in the pink number 22 car still leading us. In fact, going extremely wide there. That may be a little bit cheeky coming on the exit there onto the slip road as we come into turn 9B, with you can see the gap between number 17 and number 13 is really almost non-existent. Looks to me like they've got the checkered flag out, so this is going to be the last, well, this is already the last lap as Alistair Young comes around turn 12. Fantastic news from Malaysia. I shouldn't give him the commentator's curse, but there's really nothing that could possibly go wrong, as his hand's already up in the air and he's taking the flag and he is overjoyed.
too nice to be back. Last year, obviously, I took the win, so it was nice to capitalise and do that again this year. Apparently, I enjoy it, so I'm quite happy being here. So I saw them on Facebook a bit, so I think they were watching.
Yeah, and thank all my sponsors, and thank F4 Southeast Asia for having us and making a very good organization, especially this weekend. Yeah, it was good. I want to thank also Sahara International and my father, my family, supporting us from Oman.
Well, as soon as I crossed the checkered flag, I was so excited and happy about it. So it was like one of the best feelings I've had in my life. And I would like to thank my engineer and mechanic also for giving me a good car throughout the weekend.
So for me, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.